Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. We're going to continue on with this week's theme of melancholy tracks, and we're going to be checking out, I'm not sure if this is a band or a composer. It goes by the name of Gregor Samsa. Before we get into this, I just want to remind everybody, like, subscribe, ring the bell. It all helps with YouTube's algorithm, so I would greatly appreciate it. All right, let's get into this. We have Gregor Samsa's Lessening. Now, this group of people here makes me think it's a band, but it also could be, Gregor could be the composer, and this could be the musicians on the track. I'm not really sure, but let's get into this and see what's going on. It is on the channel Post-Rock is a Genre, so I'm kind of guessing we're getting into some post-rock here. So we're alternating 16 and 15 bar phrases. I would count it as 8-8-7-8. Yeah, so that's interesting. The main melody just pretty much cuts out on that last set of 8 beats, which makes the 7 feel odd, but doesn't disrupt the melodic writing.
Please forgive me. This wasn't easy. Tears and thrashing sews me back up. Don't forget that.
It's also interesting the guitar cuts out a bit on that last 8, which we lose a bit of the rhythmic direction. So it feels kind of floaty, and I'm just really digging that.
It's all ending now. It's all ending now. It's all
Yeah, strings are just adding another layer. Yeah, just real great use of that bowed instrument texture. Very interesting decision on the vocals here. I feel like we're getting some extra reverb maybe on the cymbals in the back. Yeah, it feels very lonely after what we just went through. Ooh, ending on that? Yeah. Yeah, what? What a. You can't get less. I just wanted to make sure. The suggested videos wasn't coming back up. I'm like, oh geez, is there more to the song? Yeah, you can't get less resolute than that note. I think it was actually two notes that they chose to land on the end. That was just, yeah. There's a lot of really nice resolutions and gorgeous chord movements all throughout, and then we land on the only instance of strong dissonance in the entire track. So that's really interesting. Um, yeah, so I was a little worried given that this was on the post rock YouTube channel, a post rock YouTube channel. Um, but I can see where there's some post rock ideas, but I would not label this as post rock, so I'm a little happy about that. Um, yeah, though, like melancholy. This is what I was kind of hoping for this week. Very pensive, very solitary. A little bit of sadness thrown in there. Yeah, this is exactly Gregor Samsa. This is a band. Hit me up with those comments. Just band or composer for Gregor. That is something I'm interested in. Um, so yeah, let's talk about some of this stuff. They go through a lot of effort to create dynamic work, which is kind of something that post rock does. Um, and it certainly, if they aren't post rock, then it certainly shows through some inspiration from post rock. We have slow burns, we have repetitive sections, we have gradually increasing layers, and of course those layers also lead to dynamic changes, not just in volume, but also in width and layering, sound sphere, tonality, all sorts of stuff gets contrasted through dynamic work. And I really enjoy that. I think they do a fantastic job of emphasizing width, sound sphere, atmosphere. They do a lot of changes between um, sort of sparse atmospheric work and larger, more filled sound spheres that are more atmospheric. No, sorry, less atmospheric, more emotional. They carry more weight to them. It's not heaviness, it's not oppressive, but it's definitely a more full emotional sound rather than some of the sparse loneliness that they utilize on the other end of the spectrum. Um, there's also a bit of distortion being used there at the end, distortion and reverb, I think, being used on the cymbals to widen out the end. And it gave it this sense of impending danger. Just having this cymbal rumble gradually swelling up from what felt like the middle of the sound. So that was really cool. Um, and there's something about the way that the vocals are processed that really create it's a bit of loneliness, but also a bit of uncanny element. I really picked it up in the third or fourth part of the track, and it's panned. There's two vocal tracks. They're panned left and right. One of them is more in the foreground of the audio. The other one's more pushed into the middle. And I feel like there's a small delay, and then there's also some note distance between them. I don't think it's a full octave, um, but a fourth maybe. I don't think it sounded clean enough, not clean enough, harmonious enough to be a fifth. I think it was probably a fourth distance apart. Um, just something a little bit unsettling. It made me a little nervous, especially since there wasn't anything else playing, or if there was, it was light. I was focusing in on it, that's for sure. Um, I did. There's just so there's so many cool production elements going on here. So you have that part in the middle of the song with the panned vocals, slightly out of sync time wise, and then out of sync tonality wise. Um, but then you have this like center distant female vocal that does a call and response with them. Uh, and there's just a lot of really cool distance play with panning and stuff that gets utilized in the vocal work, and it is phenomenal. I would have to listen to it again and see how the production work was done on the rest of the instruments. As far as I heard it, everything else was more or less centered and utilized as it sounded more like a band. Everything's kind of coming from the same space. There's a lot of clarity in the individual instruments, but it still comes together in a bit in the mix to create a quasi wall of sound. You could easily get lost in the sound. They aren't as distinct as, say, a jazz recording would be. It is this nice middle ground between heavily distinct instruments and the sort of conglomerate post rock, everything is one sound idea. Um, so I am kind of interested in how the production, if there's any production tricks being utilized in the rest of the band, the way that it's applied to the vocals. Um, but yeah, as for hitting on the theme of melancholy, I feel like this is just a perfect track. Like I said, there's moments of solitude, there's moments of introspection, there's moments of sadness and sorrow, there's moments of pensive thought. It kind of washes over every single aspect of what melancholy is, and it's just, yeah, it's a perfect pick for the week, easily. At least so far, it is my favorite of the week as far as lining up with the theme. So definitely enjoying that. Um, I do need to hear more from this group though. I feel like I've been saying that more and more frequently, which is a good thing. Either my tastes are drastically widening and I'm beginning to appreciate and understand and have a want for some of this more esoteric, I don't know, not esoteric, just some of the harsher musics, not just harshness in aggressiveness, but harshness in elements like repetition, which post rock is known for, and stuff like that. Just everything that is less palatable than stuff closer to the mainstream, which is not a very catchy phrase. I guess we might as well stick with esoteric, even though it is not a perfect catch-all for all of this. Um, but yeah, so either my tastes are widening, or you guys are just starting to suggest some really great stuff that just resonates with me better than in the past. But yeah, I feel like I've been saying it a lot. Like, hit me up with more recommendations from this band. But yeah, for this one, sure. Especially if their music continues to be, like this. It's very introspective, very pensive, with this little dash of wanting more, and I dig that. I feel like I'm missing something though. Usually I talk more about stuff, and I feel like this one's running a bit short, but yeah, and I guess it's just because I really got into it. I don't know if I physically showcased that, but there was a moment in that song where I just sort of checked out with the critical aspect and just fell into the emotion of the track, and yeah, that doesn't happen very often for a first time listen. So I mean that's probably one reason why I really appreciate this song and why I want to check out more is because it's usually really difficult for me to turn off that analytical, critical thinking side on a first listen. That's usually when I'm trying to figure out the cool aspects of a track, and my subsequent listens are where I'll be able to sort of get more comfortable and turn that off and just kind of chill with it. So yeah, when a song can sort of get me to let my guard down and fall right into that emotion, it's definitely something I'm going to be drawn to. Um, so yeah, I guess we're going to wrap it up here. It's where you guys come in. Though, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you thought of this track, and of course, like I said, composer or band. I'm kind of leaning towards band at this moment, but Gregor Samsa is also it feels very much like a name. And then, of course, recommendations for future tracks. Above the comment section is a description box for some links adjacent to the channel. You got your Twitters, Patreons, Discord servers, anything up there. Check them out. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. I'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m., 9 p.m. UTC, with the final one of these. Yeah. Uh, no. With the penultimate melancholy track. And we'll actually be back on schedule after I took the weekend off to work on some stuff with the channel. As you can see, we have green screens and new animations and all this stuff. So um, yeah, so we're back on track as of now, and tomorrow we'll be back to one video per day. All right, well, until next time, remember to be critical and not cynical of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.